OK, Amelia Adams has been keeping across a tremendous response over social networking sites. Amelia, as we just heard from Cam, a lot of people have had their mobile phones out. They've been able to take vision of this disaster, and now some of that vision, people's photos, are being posted on the internet.
Yeah, that's right, Wendy, and there's been a huge response to that news out of Grantham this morning that we heard from Cameron Price. People are going online to express their grief, as you said, to post their videos, tell their stories, but also to offer their support. The other huge topic that's on Twitter this morning is Anna Bligh. I have to say, we've seen two press conferences from her, one earlier where she showed a fair bit of emotion, then her just a short time ago updating that death toll, and lots of tweets like this one. So composed, clear, compassionate, calm, a very strong and gracious leader. Another one says, after proving her disaster handling abilities, Anna Bligh has been made captain of the Australian cricket team. So all those sorts of messages of support and response for Anna Bligh, saying that she's doing a great job. But it's not just the response, of course, it's also information. We're seeing a situation online this morning where one resident in Brisbane has woken up and tweeted, put up a picture, told people how they're doing, how inundated their house is. Another resident in another suburb is then replying. Then 10 other residents are replying to them and offering help. So the information is getting out this way, whilst communication is so difficult, and whilst, as we've seen, it's so logistically hard to get around that city at the moment. We are seeing a lot of videos, as you mentioned, and have a look at this one. This is from north of Brisbane. This is from the Gympie Road crossing of the North Pine River. I know we're getting a little bit desensitised to flowing river water shots, but you can see how fast it's going and how high it is, and as we've seen elsewhere, locals really just could do nothing there but stand by and watch. There won't be any cars on that road for a long time. That is the Gympie Road crossing of the North Pine River, flowing very, very quickly indeed at a very high level. This photo here is from Toowoomba. Now, it's hard to make out, but these men are actually rescuing a pregnant lady from a car. You might be able to see in the background a yellow car. That then washed away, so she was very lucky to survive that. We've also had some shots sent to us from Brisbane. This is Milton. Now, Wendy, this is what authorities are telling people not to do, swim in floodwaters, people evacuating on boats the only way they could. These are the streets right near where I used to live, Wendy. Looking at it, I've walked down those streets. That's where I used to shop. I can't believe it. The water is so high. And this is, as you can see, Suncorp. It's a bus stop right near Suncorp Stadium. How high is that water? And we've seen those shots right near the stadium. It's unbelievable. Let's go to Ipswich now, and as we know, Ipswich was completely inundated there. You see the water right up nearly to the roof of that house. This sports field is completely under. That, I guess, was the goalpost, so that's going to have a huge impact on those communities for weeks to come. There'll be no sporting competitions there, that's for sure. Have a look at this, though.
The
Ipswich
train station.
Central, yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible? Where the train would be, it is right filled up with water, so I think that's an amazing shot. There'll be no trains there for a while, that's for sure. This is a good one from the city, a bit of fun, right in the heart of the city, which is flooded. Queenslanders don't give up, written on the side of a restaurant, so that's just nice. Everyone giving people a bit of a cheer up as the city went under yesterday. And we're seeing a lot of that as well. Our Facebook site has been inundated with messages. Have a look at this from Sarah. We have evacuated to our brother's unit at Kangaroo Point. We have cans of food and 3 litres of milk, but no other food. We have lost everything. She asks, does anyone have any new undies and a hairbrush so I can brush my 2 daughters' hair and mine? That is the reality of what people are facing. You know, a few cans of food, 3 litres of milk, that's it. They don't even have the bare necessities. But, Wendy, there is plenty of help in response. Robert tweeted to us, taking in 3 flood refugees today, 4 including the cat. Feels good to be able to lend a hand, and there's lots of similar messages like that. People taking in strangers, helping them out. Of course, a lot of celebrities and sporting stars as well lending their hand, trying to raise some money for these people. Kevin Peterson, of course, the England cricketer, he's tweeted, anyone can donate anything they can afford. All details on my website. That's www.kevinpeterson.com. Already at £3,100. That's about $5,000, and that is rising by the minute, so that's a great help. I like this one. Sri Lanka is helping in its own way. Kate Hunter loved this one. Sri Lanka is sending a shipment of tea to cheer up flood victims and clean-up workers, a cuppa for anyone. But I think Lisa knows what Queenslanders will really need when this is all over. Wendy, she's tweeted, 4 ex-brewery workers say the brewery is okay and a large supply is kept safe and off-site. Queensland won't run out of beer. That's good news.
That is very good news. Queenslanders will be very happy about that for sure.
But there's so much information, Wendy, from the really big picture and the really crucial pieces of information to those small, more humorous things. I even saw a thing online this morning about how parents can help their children get through this crisis and the counselling process they'll need after this devastation, because of course there's a whole generation, 2 generations probably, that haven't seen anything like this before. And those are the people that are on Twitter, on Facebook, and telling their stories and offering their help. So it's been really interesting, and we'll be keeping across all of this online material right throughout the day, Wendy.
Just before you go, Amelia, just point out, because I know there'll be a lot of viewers at home that aren't really very familiar with Twitter. So, you know, when we're talking about tweets, when we're talking about retweeting, they might not know what we mean. So just give us an overview, and this is how more and more people, when you're retweeting something, seeing these messages. Just give our viewers at home sort of a rundown on how it actually works.
Yeah, it's a good idea just to explain it. If you are on Twitter and you tweet, the people that follow you will read your tweets. So if someone has tweeted a message and you choose to retweet that, that will then go out to your followers. Someone can retweet that, that will then go out to their followers. And this is how the process goes, that so many thousands of people are getting these messages. I saw one yesterday which was really interesting, a couple actually, about animals. One was a dog kennel in Goodna, and they were going to go under, and there was a tweet there saying, please can you help, all our dogs are going to go under, we need people to help us evacuate them. And so many people had retweeted that message that within 2 hours there was a tweet from the kennel owner saying, please stop retweeting this. We've had too many offers for help. The dogs are out, they're safe, they're in the showground, it's all good. So it just goes to show how quickly those messages are getting passed on. And in reality, as we've said and as we've seen, with the logistics so difficult and power cuts and the communication hard, it is now the only way that a lot of people like that woman with the dogs are getting help.
Yeah, I think you told us yesterday about the RSPCA, and because of the tweets, everybody had turned up, and a woman turned up, and there was only a chicken left or a rooster left. Like, it's a great tool in these sort of disasters. We've certainly seen that.
It is indeed, and if you can just, I'll just say, if everyone can keep their stories coming into us. We're hearing some fantastic stories. Also, those offers for help and those pleas for help, like we heard from Sarah on Facebook asking for those basic necessities. That is facebook.com/9news, and our email news@9.com.au for all your pictures and your stories.
Great, thanks very much, Amelia. We've seen over the last few days that this crisis is really being lived out online as people are turning to social networking sites to tell their stories and to offer their assistance as well. Amelia Adams has been keeping us rightly informed on this. You've been watching your computer, watching your phone. Amelia, what are you seeing this afternoon?
Wendy, just in the last few hours, I think a little more of a feeling of moving on in terms of understanding that this has actually happened. Yesterday, all the messages were really a disbelief. People couldn't believe and couldn't comprehend the scale of what had happened. But this afternoon, a little bit more in terms of people tweeting lifeline numbers here, counselling, perhaps looking forwards to the clean-up. What an incredible mess, this person writes. Clean-up will take strong bodies and minds. Crisis is far from over. So looking forward a little bit more, moving on from that disbelief. And a lot of that's to do with the fact that there are so many images, so many photos, so many visions, so much vision of what's been going on. We've been getting in a lot of photos to our Facebook page, to our email, and we'll show you some of those now. This is Rosalie, one of my favourite Brisbane suburbs. Heartbreaking to see it like that, people rowing along in canoes. It's completely underwater. That's just near Suncorp Stadium. Seen a lot of vision of the cauldron over the past couple of days. That's a bus stop, so you can see how high the water is there. In Oxley as well, a similar situation. Lots of photos coming in from Oxley. The water level there very high. That's an overpass there that's been crumbled away by the force of the water. The Ipswich motorway, completely inundated. That's a Bunnings store. And you can't help but think, Wendy, I know it's too early with the water so high, but the economic impact of this, look at all those shops.
Yeah.
The water is so high. What can they salvage? There's the Bunnings again. It is going to be a huge impact economically, that's for sure. But look, this is Ipswich as well. This is coming from Ipswich. Have a look at the station. Just incredible. That is Ipswich Central Station. Infrastructure. How is that going to recover? The water level has receded slightly since this was taken, but still, you can see how high it did come up. And another shot from outside there of Ipswich Station.
Across the tremendous.
Amazing stuff. Now, there are a lot of people, of course, who want to help, and they're turning to online sites, Facebook and Twitter, to offer their help. We've got this on our Facebook site. Hi to people who are in need of bread and other baked goods. My good friend Cindy's family have free bakery goods available now from their bakery. Ray's Hot Bread, that's on Oxley Station Road, Oxley. So those photos we just saw there, you can see the situation Oxley is in, and yet people are getting online and offering free bread and everything they can. So it's just unbelievable. The Prime Minister also tweeted this afternoon. She said, Queenslanders are just amazing. I've been to 2 evacuation centres in Ipswich. They're full of volunteers and people smiling, even in such tough times. Julia Gillard. And we heard there that Julia Gillard actually talked to a young boy called Noah, who told her a story about rescuing a caterpillar from the floodwaters, which is really a sweet little story. This is an interesting one, Wendy. We followed yesterday the story of a girl called Kristen from Brisbane. Her Twitter name, Still Pixels. She had lost contact with her father. He was flooded in at Chelmer, and she thought that he had possibly lost his life, and all day she was tweeting trying to find him. Well, she did, thanks to an overwhelming response from Twitter, and today she's posted, thank you so much to all on Twitter, Facebook and beyond for their help in locating my dad, my family, and I really appreciate everything everyone did. So you can see the power of these social networking sites in that situation. There's a lot of stories like that too, Wendy, people who haven't been able to make contact, and that's why the internet is so important. It's been such an important role in this crisis as it's gone on, because it's simply the only way for some people to communicate. And I'll just finish up with a quick one from our very own Lizzie Pearl, journalist who is in Ipswich, and she posted this on Twitter earlier today. It's a sign that was put up in Ipswich, 3 lost goldfish last seen Tuesday evening. So she said that people in Ipswich still have got their sense of humour, which is really good to see.
Yeah, isn't it just under such dire circumstances? OK, Amelia, thank you for that.